guys, and welcome back to Saltiee TV. This is still your relatable Christian talk show. For the months of October and November, we've been talking about breast cancer, doing street interviews. We even got a survivor last week. But this time, we are here with a medical practitioner. We have a nurse who is also a public health specialist, which is about to tell us educate us really about breast cancer. So let her introduce herself, then we go on with the talk. So your name, please.
Hello, and thank you for having me. My name is Priscilla Oramati. I'm a nurse and I'm a public health specialist, like she said.
Yeah.
And today we're talking about breast cancer.
Yes, breast cancer. Okay. So yes, basically that's it. So let's just go straight to the topic. So we know breast cancer is a disease, but let's start from the cancer itself. So what's cancer?
Cancer is a condition, it's a medical condition.
Okay.
But let me just start. I like to describe it in a way people can relate to and understand well. Cells are a part of the foundation of a human body.
Okay.
You know, when you are building a house and you don't create a solid foundation, the house can come crumbling down.
Exactly.
Yes. And when God was creating human beings, He started with the cells as the foundation of the human body. So the cells are everywhere. They are the tiniest part of the body.
But
You
the
cannot.
foundation.
Yes.
Okay.
You cannot see it with your naked eyes. It has to be a microscope that you can use to see the cells. Now the cells are everywhere because they come together. So when you have 1, 2, 3 cells and you put them together, they become a tissue.
Oh, okay.
And then when you have 2, 3, 4 tissues and you put them together, they become an organ. And you know the body is made up of different organs that have been put together to make a whole human being. Yes. So we have the eye, which is an organ. We have the heart is an organ. The lung is an organ. The arms, the skin. So all these organs are made up of tissues, and the tissues are made up of cells.
Tiny bits of cells. Okay.
So the cells are everywhere.
Okay.
Now you get why I call it a foundation. Exactly. So when the cells, they are supposed to grow at a normal rate. So let's say if they grow at 3 times, or if they grow like 28 times, with a cancer they grow more than that. So they grow abnormally. So if you're having them growing at 20, they are growing like 50.
Oh, okay.
So when the cells outgrow themselves like that, then it becomes a problem, because at the rate that they are supposed to grow, they need nutrients and things to survive.
To sustain the growth.
Exactly.
But if it's excess,
so then they can't get the normal nutrients that they need. They are fighting with the other. Yes. So then it becomes a problem. So when there's an abnormal growth of cells in the body, in any part of the body, we call it a cancer.
wow.
So that is what a cancer is. So this is why you can have cancer in any part of the body. It can be breast, it can be your cervix, it can be prostate, it can be your eye, it can be your ear. Anywhere in the body you can have cancer.
That's great. Okay. So cancer is like your own body fighting against your body.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so now let's move to the main topic. So what then is breast cancer?
Okay, so like I explained what cancer is, breast cancer is just an abnormal growth of the cells in the breast. So the breast tissues, the cells in the breast, they become abnormal. They grow out of place. So that is what happens. So if it happens in the breast, we call it the breast cancer. So that is just what it is.
Simply.
Exactly.
Okay, so now, what causes, I heard there's the genetic way people can get cancer, and then I want to know how many.
So there is no particular cause of cancer that we know of. Yeah, but there are risk factors.
Okay.
There are so many risk factors. So somebody can have so let me start with the genetic. So we call it genetic predisposition.
Okay.
It just means that you carry some genes that makes you more at risk
of getting it.
Yes, I like to describe it like this. If all of us, our risk is up to here, because of the genes that you carry, it takes you up to here. So it takes you closer. Exactly. It does not mean that if you have those genes, by all means you will get cancer.
But it makes you closer to easily. You can
Yes,
easily get
you can
cancer.
yes. So then, if we are taking care of ourselves like 50%, you should be doing 90%.
So that's when a family member. So is it maybe your auntie or your cousin, or it has to be your mom,
your blood
dad?
relatives.
Okay.
With genetics, we talk about blood relatives.
Okay.
So if your mother has ever had breast cancer before, if your auntie with a bloodline, so if the person has a bloodline with you,
you can easily get it.
So if you can have your dad getting breast cancer, it means you are predisposed to it. So that is the genetic part.
Men do get breast cancer.
Oh yeah,
they get there.
So that's what happens. So if you have a family member who has already been diagnosed with breast cancer, you know that you have a higher risk of developing it. And then we have the sex that, when you are a female, you have a higher risk of getting breast cancer.
Oh, okay.
You know, everybody who has breast tissues, everyone who has breast tissues is liable to getting breast cancer. But because we have more breast tissues, you know, the more you have them, the higher your risk. That's why the men do not get it as often as the women do, because they have breast all right, but
does it mean fat men at high risk?
Oh yeah, they are developing more breast tissues. So those the men that have the bulging breasts,
wow.
Like the females do, they also have a higher risk of getting breast cancer.
So, okay, we want to ask a question. So, I went to the streets of Accra and we asked so many questions. So, one of the people we asked, so if you have big breasts, does it mean you can easily get breast cancer?
So, that's another thing. So, like I said, we have a lot of breast tissue. So, women who have dense breasts, when we say dense breasts, their breasts are heavy. They have like a lot of tissue. Yes. So, those ones, they are at a higher risk than somebody who doesn't have that much breast. Exactly. So that's what happens. So women who have a lot of breast, they are also at a higher risk of developing breast cancer.
Okay, let's take a commercial break. Right back. All right, we are back. We're talking about the risk factor. So yeah, you said dense breasts. What else?
Being female.
Okay.
And I also mentioned the genetic predisposition, which you brought up. And then if you have early menstruation.
Okay.
So during our time, we were menstruating around 13 years, 14 years. But now I know girls are menstruating, yes, by 10, 9. Some of them are already having their menarche. And those ones.
Yeah, what?
That's your first menstruation. Sorry. Okay. So the first time you menstruate, yes, that's what we call it. So early menstruation also predisposes somebody to getting breast cancer.
Wow.
And it's because the cancer cells, they prey on the hormones.
Oh, okay. So aside the genetic, we have the hormone bits.
Yes.
Okay.
And because you start menstruating, then your hormones also, because when you are ovulating and all that, the hormones are all over the place.
Okay.
So when you menstruate early, you get predisposed to getting the cancer. Yes. And then when you menstruate for all those years, and your menopause is late. So when you have a late menopause, that it also increases your risk of getting breast cancer.
Wow.
Yes. So that's why we encourage for even young girls
to check
early, to start screening for breast cancer. And then when you do not get pregnant early.
Wow.
See, now when we are talking about that, we are a bit cautious because we do not want young girls thinking, oh, we are telling them they should go get pregnant right now.
That's true.
Yeah. So we are cautious about it. It's important you have your first child earlier than the 35s and all that. Yes, because
so at most by 30.
Yeah, you should have had it. We are not saying if you don't have it and you have it late. Not every woman who has their first child
these
late,
are the risk factors.
It just poses a risk for you. Yes. So if you have your child late, that also makes you become at risk. And then what do we call it? Contraceptives.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Please, those who have been taking. Okay.
Oral contraceptives, you see, they are hormonal.
Okay.
So the hormonal ones, that's why we have different types
Of
that you can
contraceptives.
choose. Yes. So you always talk to your health practitioners, and then you decide which one suits you better, and then you can.
So okay, like can you, for the married people who use contraceptives, definitely not the single one. So can you tell people what, like, some of the, how you know, or you should just talk to your doctor about the exact contraceptive to use, or you can mention.
You know, normally family planning, you go to the clinic and then you tell them that you need to be on family plan, and then they will discuss with you. So they give you all the risk. You see, the thing is, it's a risk, but it doesn't mean you will get
definitely
it.
get it.
Exactly.
So do you have any contraceptive that you know that these ones are normally good, and then
that's why we have the hormonal ones, we have the non-hormonal ones. So the ones that they insert in your cervix, that those ones are not hormonal, but the
oral ones?
Yeah, most of the oral ones are.
Ah,
Exactly.
okay.
And then what do we call it? Exposure to radiation.
Okay.
That's also
So
poses a risk.
microwaves and those things.
Ah, well, so.
Wow.
But we have radiation all over the place.
Please, not just.
So you reduce your risk.
Okay.
That's all. You reduce the amount that you expose yourself to. And that's another thing. And obesity. So if getting fat,
Wow.
or getting a higher weight or something, that also increases your risk. So that's
Wow.
why we also are encouraging everybody to exercise more. So those of us who are put on weight, we are exercising to
Yeah.
reduce it.
Okay. So when we went to Accra, we had this interesting man who said the way a man holds a woman's breast and squeezes the breast and sucks the breast can cause. Is that true?
Well, it's not. It's not. We actually advocate for the men to use the breast. You know, when you breastfeed, when you have a child and you breastfeed, breastfeeding actually reduces your risk of getting breast cancer.
Oh, okay. So he was even saying the opposite. When your husband even sucks your breast, it rather
It's good.
reduces.
It's good for you. It's
Wow.
good. Yeah, it's good. So we encourage the men to use the breast. Yes.
Okay, I also learned somewhere that when the men keep touching and feeling the breast, they know when there's a change in it also.
That's another side of it. It all boils down to the educating them to be participating in the whole screening or examination process. You know, the men are using the breast,
Okay.
so they know how it feels.
Already.
If your husband is always touching it, I mean, he will know if there's a change, sort of.
Yes.
So we advocate that whilst they are, having fun, you won't know. But
Yeah.
whilst they have
they would know that there's something wrong.
exactly, if they feel there's anything, I mean, they can alert. Yeah, they can alert us. So we ask that and then we encourage the women to also allow the men to help them with the examination at home. It's all part of it. It's bonding. So you get two. You do as a preventive measure, and it's a romantic gesture.
Okay, so is there any like diets or routines that people can take to also
well, so it's a normal preventive health something that you do. So you make sure you eat right, you eat your balanced diet, you eat your fruits and vegetables, because the canned foods, they are filled with a whole lot of unhealthy things.
Okay.
So if you eat a lot of fresh vegetables and fruits, it's good for you. And then it will also help you maintain a healthy weight. So you eat well, you don't eat late. Those things are good for maintaining a healthy weight. So that's why we continue to talk about that. But there's really not a specific diet that
you can say you can do, and then okay. No. So now we've spoken about before the breast cancer. So now let's get to when a person gets breast cancer. So when do you know that you have it? Is it when you go to the hospital for the screening? Is that the only process when they screen you, or they do other tests or any other things to make sure that it's really breast cancer?
So the screening, the screening entails a lot. The ones that we normally do during Breast Awareness Week, the self-examination and all that, One oncologist recently said that's called breast touching.
Wow. So we are even lost.
I told him I don't want to use that word because it will make people feel like
They are not doing anything anyway.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good because it's a step. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
not everybody will get the chance to just go to the hospital and say, I want you to screen my breast. But people can do that at home. They can touch their breast, they can feel their breast. So let's start from there.
Okay.
So at home, we advocate that you can examine yourself. First, you look in the mirror, you stand in front of the mirror and you look at your breast. You know your breast, you know yourself. It's good to always know your body.
Yes.
Yes, people like to know others, but they don't like to
know what
themselves.
goes on, yeah.
So stand in front of the mirror. I keep telling the women, I mean, it's okay to look at yourself in the mirror. Like what you see. It's you.
It's yours.
Yeah,
you can't do anything
own
about
it.
Yeah.
So look at yourself, look at your breast, and this is what you're looking at. You're looking at the color of your breast. You're looking at the size. You know, normally the breasts, the sizes are different. So one size is slightly bigger than the other. But if you notice that it's too big than the other, then you should go to the hospital.
Okay.
So you're looking at the color should be the same. So if this month you checked your breast and then you identify the color, then you will know next month if something is wrong. If there's a change, you will know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you are checking if there's any redness. When there's redness, normally we call it the inflammation. That means there's something going on there. If there is tenderness means when you touch it, you feel a little pain.
Okay.
Exactly. So you look at the size, you look at the color of your breast, and then you start feeling. So you feel your breast, and then you are feeling for lumps. Bajwa.
Okay.
Every woman has a lump in their breast
already.
But if you start examining it, you will know how it feels. Normally it's smooth, but the ones that brings the cancers and all those ones, they are rough on the edges. So you start feeling, and then if you feel anything other than the ones that you know already, that's a red flag. You should go to the hospital. And then you also check for nipple discharge. Any woman who is not breastfeeding shouldn't be discharging fluid from the nipples. So if you are a woman and you are not breastfeeding like me, and then you shouldn't be discharging nipples. You need discharging fluid from your nipples. So you squeeze it a bit, and you identify if there's any fluid coming out, then you know there's a problem. And then you should also check for rashes at the nipple, the areola, the black thing around. Yes, there are some little dots. Yes, on it.
That's normal. Okay, we are safe.
Yes, so that's normal. So that's why we need you to be checking
to know yourself.
So if you see that it's more than the one that is supposed to be there, or there's something different, you know that, oh no, this is not right.
This is not me.
Exactly. So these are the things you are checking. And then maybe when we are done, I will show you how to actually do the examination. And when you stand there, and then you can also lie down on your back on a flat surface without a pillow. So don't put a pillow behind your neck and do it.
It should be straight.
Straight, should be flat. And then you can also check how your breast is on you and everything, and then you can do the examining. That's also how you do it. So now when you check and you identify any of these things that I have mentioned, you can go to the hospital. Always go to the hospital. We say early detection is
so
key.
How often do you need to check for breast cancer? Is it every month?
I say every month.
Wow.
Every month. I keep telling people, you know, I was born on the 12th of October. What's your birthday?
18th May.
So the number 18, it's always important to you. It's significant. Mine, the 12 is important to me. So rarely do I forget the number 12. So I keep telling people on the 12th of every month, I will do my own examination.
Okay.
On the 18th of every month, do yours. So take it like it's your day. So you stand in front of it. Will take just a few minutes, but those few minutes can be very significant in your life. So you do that. So you just use the month, the day you were born, and then do it. Or if you want to use the day of the week, whatever, just choose a day and do the examination. Every month you need to do it. Then let's go to the one we do in the hospital. So this is the self-examination. Okay.
Let's take a break. So we are back. We are here. So we were talking about the hospital bit.
Okay. So these are the ones you can do outside of the hospital in the home. Now you were talking about screening, so this is also part of it. If you are a woman above 50 years, you see, when you grow, the older you get, the more predisposed you are to getting breast cancer.
Okay.
So women over 50 years are known to have been diagnosed more of breast cancer. Now, if you are above 50 years, we would ask that you do a mammogram. A mammogram is just an X-ray of the breast.
Okay.
A mammogram every year.
Wow.
If you are 50 and above, you do a mammogram every year. So this year you go and do your mammogram. They said there's nothing wrong. Good. Next year you go again. And
aside you screening
yes,
every month.
those ones, the self-examination, you shouldn't stop.
But every year, 50 plus, you need to
do them. The reason why we do not advocate for you going for a mammogram every month is because, you know, I mentioned the radiation.
Yeah.
Yes. Too much exposure to it is not good.
Okay.
So that's why we wouldn't advocate for that. But every year it has spaced itself enough.
Yeah.
So you can go and do it every year. So you do the examination. Between the year that you are waiting to do another one, anything can happen. So we do not want you just sitting back and relaxing and saying, okay, well, I did the X-ray and it's fine, so let me just stay back and wait for the year. Yes. So you keep doing the examination. If something happens, you go to the hospital.
Okay.
So if you are below 50, let's say you are 30, you are 35, 23, whatever, you can do the ultrasound. So we do an ultrasound, a scan of your breast for you. So that one, it can also be done. So these are the two that you do, and then when you do those two and they think they see something, when you go
extra,
exactly, then they might do a biopsy. They might take a sample from your breast tissues.
Okay.
And then they can go and check it out and see what exactly is happening. So these are the three that is normally done for you, aside the self-examination.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot. Wow. Yeah, so now if someone gets cancer, what happens when let's go to the cosmetology part with your hair and everything? When do they lose their hair?
Everybody's worried about their hair.
Yeah.
You know,
and I know their nails too. They say it comes dark and all that.
It's the chemo. It's the chemo that does that. You know, when you are finally diagnosed of having breast cancer, there are different forms of treatment that goes on.
Okay.
But it depends. The treatment that is chosen for you or is preferred for you will be determined by the level of cancer that you have. Most people report to the hospital late because they saw something. You know, the breast cancer, it doesn't really give pain until by the time it starts giving you pain, then it is at the latter part.
Oh, okay.
So if you start feeling pain, then it's almost too late. So then that's why if it's, you know, because people are like, this is not bothering me, it's just a rash, it's just a lump, it's not doing anything, I'm okay and all that. By the time they go, it's late. So go to the hospital early. Now when you go, you can do chemo. They can ask you to go to the chemotherapy. That's where they use the radiation and then they give you drugs.
Okay.
Now those are the ones that sometimes causes people to lose their hair.
Oh, okay.
Last Saturday it was interesting. We had a breast cancer survivor on the Orange Health Lounge. I'm also the co-host of Orange Health Lounge, and she came and she had some really nice curly hair, and we talked about the hair loss, and she said, yeah, that one I was even scared about it, but the hair went off all right, but when the chemo was done, the hair grew back, and I even like my hair now. She says she has baby hair. Yeah, it's curly and it's shiny. It was so nice. So don't worry too much about the hair loss. It will grow back.
Yeah, I even went bald, but my hair has grown.
Yeah, you know, it will grow back. And like she said, who knows? You might even have nicer hair after.
Yeah.
So it's not all bad. So that's what happens. The chemo sometimes can cause that, and then they have the mastectomy. So mastectomy is the taking off the breast. That's another thing people are worried about, especially, you know, the women are worried because the guys will complain and I don't have it. Heck, man, it's your life.
You need to live it to make sure you're
It's,
healthy.
yeah, if you have the breast and you are sick and you will die,
You leave the men. So
then
that
that's
means
why-
when they cut off the breast or they do the, what's it called?
breast mastectomy,
Mastectomy, you can't breastfeed.
they will take the breast off. So then there's no
Can't
way
breastfeed.
you can breastfeed.
So I
But
think that's some people's concern that they won't be
you
able
know,
to.
but you see, would you want to live to take care of your child, or you, because the child will live anyway if you don't breastfeed,
it
she
or
will
not.
live. Yeah,
Yeah.
she will live. But if you do not take care of the breast the way it's supposed to, and then you die, you will leave your
the
child
Okay.
motherless. So choose the better option. But even that, there are other ways of managing that. Now there's breast reconstruction.
Yes, yes.
It can be done easily for you. In Ghana, in Konfanochi, they do it.
Okay.
So you can get some nice pair of breasts, and even this time, oh, it will even look younger than it used to.
You will not be falling, you'll be
Oh
out.
yeah, you know. So, but it's all, that's what we also encourage the men. I mean, you should be motivating. You should be
Yes.
supportive, because most of these women are worried, if I go through this, my husband might cheat, my husband might do this. Please, just give the women support. It's stressful enough
Yeah.
that you go through this. So, and that's what happens. So the chemo, the mastectomy, those are the treatment options that are available, and there are others. But these are the most common ones that.
So I know sometimes it's like when the lump is not, it hasn't spread, maybe it's just at your under your armpit or something, they can just take that, open it and then take it out. So they don't need to cut, like do the
Yeah, so
mastectomy.
it's that's why it's at every level. The level that the cancer has spread to will determine what needs to be done for you. But you see that the thing is, if the breast cancer, the cells can grow back. It can go back. So if the breast tissues are all the way to your underarms, so all this part, there are breast tissues there. That means if there are tissues, there are cells.
Okay.
Huh. Now the thing is, if there is a cancerous cell there and it's taken out, the probability it will grow back is also there.
Yeah.
So normally when they put the option of the mastectomy on the table, the good thing about it is if they are taking off the breast, then there's no way.
It will come back.
Exactly. So you take care of that part, because
Completely.
when you get it, the probability it will come back again is there. So far
okay.
as, yes, the breast is still there. So that's another
What
thing.
about the nipple? I hear sometimes they can just take off the nipple.
So it depends on where it is. So if it's just at the nipple,
Yeah, they'll
then
just
they
take
can.
it. Oh, okay. Wow. We've learned a lot today. Mastectomy and biopsy and all that. Okay. What, like, I'm done with my questions. So if there's anything you want to add about health, like breast cancer or anything related to health and all that.
One thing I know is people should be supportive,
Okay.
because it's a journey, it's a stressful journey, and people go through a lot. Just knowing that you have this condition is
alarming.
enough, yes, enough to throw somebody off. So sometimes we should be kind. We should be kind to people when they are going through these kind of stress. And then the community has a way of encouraging people to do things outside of the medical
Exactly.
what do we call it, counseling or the medical instructions that are given. Exactly. Because I have had a patient before who came in late. She died eventually. She found something in the breast. She went to the hospital and then they detected it was breast cancer. Now her neighbors and her friends told her, oh, you can use this, you can use that, you can use this. And so she stayed home using all kinds of concoctions and things to treat it until the breast became so big and the cancer had spread all through. Now the thing about cancer is it feeds and it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And I have told you it's a cell. So it goes through all the cells. So if it starts on your breast and you do not take care of it, it might spread to your lungs, it might spread to your heart. It can go anywhere. And it's unstoppable if it starts spreading. So it spread, and then they brought her to the hospital, and it was late. And she was like, if I had known that this would be the problem.
Too late.
So we don't want any of that. It's painful to watch when young women and older women, people are just dying when it could have been prevented. Breast cancer is curable.
Yeah.
If you do
It's
not
not a
hear
death
anything,
sentence.
yes. If you do not hear anything from me today, just get that it is curable. It can be taken care of, and you can be free. We've had success stories before.
Yeah.
So don't stay home. Come to the hospital and get treated.
Oh, this is sad. Yeah, because a lot of people don't even, are even scared to admit that they have it, and then they'll rather try and help themselves out when there are hospitals there.
There is.
You can pray but still go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Because these doctors, most of them are even Christians, and then God, He can even use a lot of people to heal you. So please, when you know you have breast cancer, stop all this. I can take care of it. You blend things and drink it and put it on the breast. Oh, we are very grateful to have you here. We hope you're educated, because the other time we went on the street, we heard a lot of interesting stuff. But I'm sure by now we know that men get breast cancer. Early detection saves lives. Breast cancer knows no age, right?
No.
You can get it at any age.
Yeah.
So you just need to keep checking. Okay. So men get it, we can get it at any age. We've learned new words like mastectomy.
Oh, you really like that?
Yeah, I like that. I've learned a lot. So if there are any more questions, you can put it in our comment section. And then Priscilla is on Facebook and Instagram. I want you to.
Okay, so on Facebook, I'm Priscilla Ora-Martin. You can call me Priscilla O there. And then on Instagram, it's Priscilla O_world.
Okay, so yeah, so that you can get any health related issues, you can access, you educate you. We are done for now. And this has been your Relatable Christian Talk Show, and this draws the curtain on breast cancer awareness. Thank you very much for sticking with us throughout this journey from October to November. God bless you, and do have a lovely weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, this has been your Relatable Christian Talk Show. We hope you loved today's session. Okay, continue to like, comment, share to the world, and please, if there's any suggestion, just put it down in the comment section. And please subscribe, hit that button, hit the notification button so that you don't miss any Saltiee experience. Okay, we have our Facebook and Instagram page. Please follow us. On Instagram, we are Saltiee_TV. On Facebook, we are Saltiee TV. It's your Relatable Christian Talk Show. See you next in 2 weeks.